We've put together some special segments for you. Sprinkled here and there in the middle of the regular Sowing Seed podcasts, we're planting episodes we're calling Growing the Seed. Here, we'll be documenting the steps we take along the sowing seed journey as we build a business and build a brand. You'll see it all, when it works and when it's a little messy. So, right here, right now for you, here's Growing the Seed with your host, Matt Miller.
You may be wondering how we keep track of this. I mentioned on a previous show, I've got 5 different podcasts that I do right now. So how do I keep track of it all, plan, etc.? And so I just wanted to take a minute to give you guys a feel for what I do. You know, every podcaster has a different way of doing it. Every media or content creator has a different way of doing it. I've just put together a simple Google Drive planning calendar that I utilize. And as I have ideas or as I have content that I have created, it allows me to communicate with the team that helps me do the editing, that helps me produce the audio, that helps me with show notes and artwork and all those kind of things. And it also helps me plan ahead kind of what I want to occur and when in that content calendar. Those of you, once again, that are on YouTube or want to see what I'm showing here visually, go to the Sowing Seed Podcast YouTube channel. Before you jump into the videos, go ahead and subscribe so every time something new comes out, you've got access to it and you can follow along with the screen share that I'm going to do here in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick screen share. I have the page open already on Google Drive. And you can see here first off along the bottom of the page, I have 4 of my shows basically covered. SSV Radio, I've got 2 shows there. Both of them are covered on the same planning calendar. The School Zone podcast and then the Sowing Seed podcast. I do need to add a tab for the Some Guys in the Bible podcast as well. And though that's not as arbitrary, we're literally stepping chapter by chapter through the Bible. But I do need to get that up as well. So if you take a look here, all I've got here is the episode number, the topic, the release date, and then we've got a bunch of other information here. Right now, we're primarily really only using the edited column. Scott Hooper or his son Chris, who do all of the audio editing currently, they just put an X here in this column every time a show is edited and ready for upload. Anyway, this is the planning calendar as it stands right now. Compacted it all down so that we could stay closer to the top. But anyway, the first episode came out on October 27th. It was the Sowing Seed intro. All these in yellow are the ones that are already posted on the WordPress Sowing Seed podcast.net or sowingseed.net website, and our episodes that have already been posted and in most cases have already been published. It's the 3rd of February, so we do have a couple of these episodes that are already published that will go live in the next week or 2. The episodes here in black are ones that have already been recorded and have already been uploaded to Dropbox for editing. The episodes here in blue are ones that I have recorded, but I have not yet uploaded them to Dropbox. And then the episodes in green are ones that I want to do a episode on, but we have not yet done the recording. So that's kind of a way for us to communicate so that Scott and my sister Heidi, who's very involved in this as well, know exactly what the status is of everything. And then, of course, it also allows me to topically plan ahead with the different episodes that I'm doing and to have some continuity in what we're producing, etc. As an example, you know, I do my monthly progress report each and every month. And so this allows me to schedule those. I just recorded earlier my podcast month 3 progress show that you can see here at the top. One thing just of note, instead of doing those shows immediately after the month is over, I'm typically, trying to have, a week and a half to 2 weeks from month end until then, just so that the team is not under a bunch of stress to scramble to get an episode out. I prefer working ahead as much as we can. In fact, because I was gone in China for 10 days, we got 2.5, 3 weeks done and ready to go and scheduled and edited, etc. before I left, along with a week's worth of buffer here at the end before I went to China, so that I could come back and not be scrambling to get everything done. But you can see there's a lot of episodes here that have already been recorded. And in the next installment of Growing Seed, I'm going to talk about batching episodes and the power of that. And that's exactly what I've done here with All These in Black, is I've batched a group of them together when I'm in the mood and when I have time, so that I'm not having to go back day after day after day to record. I can spend an hour or two at a time, knock out weeks or a month more potentially of content all at once, so that the show or my shows don't completely consume my life. And these can just be a simple addition to all the other things I'm doing as a father, husband, and business owner of several businesses, to include School Spirit Vending, the national franchise that I own, and all the franchisees I work with, the School Zone, School Fundraising Ideas podcast, and the Best School Fundraising and Resource Ideas guide that we release every year and sell space in for companies in the school fundraising space, etc. So this has been the simplest method that I've found to plan ahead and to communicate with the support team that helps me get these shows put together, edited, and published on the schedule that we have set to do so. One thought on that before we close out the show today. The key, or one of the huge keys in garnering support and trust and a regular audience, is to consistently publish your show or shows on a predictable calendar for your audience, whether it be weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly, daily, or what have you. I can't stress enough the importance of that. So if you are looking to do a show or are doing a show, you need to mentally make the commitment, starting now if you haven't done so already, to be there at the prescribed time that you've let your audience know each and every week, day, month, or whatever, predictably. If you do that, they're more likely to commit to you as a listener and to be there on a regular basis, absorbing and taking in your content. So the Sowing Seed show is 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have to have an episode come out because that's what the audience is expecting. So I don't have the ability or the right, or I can't afford not to do what I say that I'm going to do in that regard. That's one of the reasons why we work in it as far out in advance as we can. And now that I'm back from all my travel and I'm going to be home a lot more in the next couple of months, my goal